A burger sitting in your takeaway bag right now could be 35% smaller than advertised, and you have no idea you've been scammed. While you've been trusting this billion-pound brand to deliver what they show in those glossy TV commercials, they've been using your wallet as a dumping ground for false advertising so blatant that a U.S. federal judge ruled it goes beyond mere puffery. The same deceptive marketing that cost them millions in American settlements. But here's what makes this a scandal. British consumers received £0 in compensation, while Americans got $26 million for buying the exact same burgers. Your order, your disappointment, their profit. So how bad is Burger King in the UK really? Let's start with the worst scandal. ***. Number 1. The Great Burger Deception. ***. For years, you've walked past Burger King billboards showing massive, juicy Whoppers stacked high with flame-grilled beef. You've seen the TV commercials with burgers so thick they barely fit in the box. Premium ingredients, generous portions, quality you can taste, all for under 11 quid at your local Burger King. Sounds reasonable when you're grabbing a quick lunch, right? Here's what they didn't tell you. In March 2023, a class action lawsuit was filed against Burger King Corporation in U.S. federal court. The allegation? Burgers appear 35% larger in advertising than reality. The meat appears more than double the actual amount you receive. Not slightly bigger, not a bit more generous. 35% larger with double the meat shown versus what lands in your box. The Whopper, Impossible Burger, Big King, Bacon Double Cheeseburger, all affected. This wasn't an accident or a one-time mistake. Court documents reveal Burger King started overstating burger sizes around September 2017. That's 8 years of systematically deceiving customers with every advertisement, every billboard, every social media post. But false advertising claims get dismissed all the time, don't they? Companies call it puffery, artistic license, marketing magic, except in May 2025, U.S. District Judge Roy Altman allowed the case to proceed. He found the claims not just credible but plausible, stating they go beyond mere exaggeration or puffery. The judge wrote that reasonable consumers could be deceived by Burger King's advertisements, and that each plaintiff came away disappointed by the incongruity between what they received and what they expected. A federal judge examined the evidence and concluded, this isn't normal marketing, this is deception. Now, here's where the betrayal becomes criminal. Burger King's defense in court, their photographers styled sandwiches more beautifully. They claimed reasonable consumers viewing food advertising know products are styled. They insisted the flame-grilled beef patties portrayed in advertising are the same patties used in the millions of burgers they serve. They're not denying the burgers look different. They're arguing you should have known you were being deceived, that it's your fault for believing their advertisements, that you're unreasonable for expecting to receive what they showed you. This isn't Burger King's first offense. Back in 2010, the UK Advertising Standards Agency banned a Burger King Tender Crisp chicken sandwich TV advert. The ruling? The product looked far larger on screen than in real life. The advert was subsequently banned from British airwaves. They've known since 2010 that their advertising doesn't match reality, yet they continued, expanded, and systematized the deception across their entire menu. British customers documented the reality. One Manchester airport customer paid £5 for what they described as the thinnest patty I've ever seen. Another wrote on Trustpilot, "My burger looked nothing like their advertised burger. Absolute false advertising as looked nothing like pick." A third described their experience. "The burger was dry, lukewarm, and didn't taste at all fresh. Not worth the money or the 15-minute wait." YouTube food critics, social media posts, thousands of customer reviews, all documenting the same pattern. Order a Whopper expecting the burger from the billboard. Receive something that barely resembles the advertisement. Food blogger John Jurasek summed it up perfectly. For $6, the size is a little disappointing. American consumers who experienced identical deception filed class action lawsuits. The case is proceeding through federal court. Millions in potential settlements. Corporate accountability. Legal consequences. British users? Zero compensation. Zero lawsuits. Zero accountability. But the betrayal gets worse. Asterisk, asterisk. Number 2. The 11-pound lie. Asterisk, asterisk. September 2025. Burger King UK launches their most premium burger to date, the Gordon Ramsay Wagyu Burger. 100% British Wagyu beef, sourced from 700 UK farms. Caramelized onions, pink pickled onions, crispy onions, rocket, Caramelized onion mayo, seeded brioche bun, 11 pounds. Gordon Ramsay, the chef who built his reputation on calling out substandard food, on Kitchen Nightmares literally shutting down restaurants for serving rubbish, now endorses this burger. They paid him a six-figure salary for the campaign. TV adverts, social media, billboards across Britain. Not made by Gordon, they joked, showing Ramsay trying to get into the kitchen and being rejected. So good you'd think a world-renowned chef made it, but he didn't. The marketing positioned this as Burger King's premium moment. British provenance, Wagyu quality, celebrity endorsement. The burger that would prove Burger King could compete with Five Guys, Honest Burgers, the premium quick service segment. Here's what they didn't tell you. Within weeks, British customers started documenting their reality on Trustpilot. One wrote, "Negative review of the new Gordon Ramsay Wagyu burger. The one I brought was nothing like the one Burger King advertised." Another reported, "Burger King ought to be ashamed of itself. Don't waste your money on the burger. Dry bun, thin patty, nothing like advertised." But this review captures the full extent of the disaster. "I'd have given a 0, but not possible. I've just opened a pack of my cat's food to take the taste away from the Wagyu burger. Absolutely awful. Completely false advertising as looked nothing like pick." Read that again. A customer was so disgusted by an 11-pound Gordon Ramsay-endorsed burger that they ate cat food to remove the taste. They paid 11 pounds, received something so disappointing they preferred pet food, and Burger King faces 0 consequences. The campaign imagery showed a thick, juicy Wagyu patty with layers of caramelized onions, fresh rocket, and a premium brioche bun that looked bakery fresh. The reality? Dry bun, thin patty, nothing like the photograph. The exact same deception pattern from the U.S. lawsuit now applied to their most expensive, celebrity-endorsed product. Gordon Ramsay built his career on authenticity, on calling out frozen food passed off as fresh, on exposing restaurants that deceive customers, on screaming "it's raw" when served undercooked meat. Yet he took a six-figure payment to endorse a burger that customers describe as worse than cat food. The marketing budget for this campaign ran into millions. TV spots, radio adverts, social media campaigns, print advertising, out-of-home billboards, all showing a burger that doesn't exist. All promising an experience you won't receive. All taking your 11 pounds for a product that customers universally describe as disappointing. Here's what's happening. Burger King's marketing team photographs styled burgers under perfect lighting with professional food stylists. They select the best bun from dozens. They position every ingredient precisely. They photograph from angles that maximize size perception. They create an image that's technically made from Burger King ingredients but bears no resemblance to what any customer will ever receive. You're not buying a burger. You're buying a photograph's promise, and Burger King knows you'll be disappointed. They've known since the 2010 ASA ruling. They've known since the 2017 decision to systematically overstate sizes. They've known through 163,421 complaints filed in 2022 alone. They know, and they continue, because in Britain, there are no consequences. Asterisk, asterisk. Number 3, the complaint avalanche. Asterisk, asterisk. Burger King has nearly 500 locations across the United Kingdom, millions of customers every year. Quick service, fast food, grab and go. Most people don't complain when they receive a disappointing burger. They just don't come back. They tell a friend or two, they move on with their day. But in 2022, something unprecedented happened. Expert Beacon research documented that 163,421 complaints were lodged against Burger King UK in a single year. 163,421. That's the highest number of complaints in 5 years. Not a slight uptick, not a marginal increase. The worst year on record. Here's what they didn't tell you. 62% of those complaints related specifically to food quality, order accuracy, delays, or substandard products. That's over 101,000 complaints about the actual food. Not service issues, not app problems, not minor inconveniences. Complaints that the food itself was wrong, late, poor quality, or didn't match what was ordered. The average resolution time for these complaints? 33 hours. Think about that. You receive a cold, incorrect order at 7 p.m. on Friday evening. You file a complaint. Burger King takes 33 hours on average to even respond. By Sunday afternoon, your ruined Friday night dinner is ancient history, but they're just getting around to acknowledging your complaint. Burger King UK paid an estimated £850,000 in compensation to dissatisfied customers in 2022 alone. £850,000. That's not goodwill gestures or loyalty rewards. That's compensation for failures so severe that customers demanded their money back and Burger King had to pay. But compensation isn't the only cost. Research shows the common complaint categories paint a damning picture. Mobile order problems, stores closed when the app said they're open, incorrect charges, double charges, payment method issues, in-restaurant issues, wrong orders, poor quality food, payment problems, staff complaints, items unavailable, glacial service speed, delivery problems, missing items, incorrect orders, poor quality, late delivery, damaged food, cold food arriving after the quoted time. Trustpilot reviews from actual British customers document the reality. One wrote, "Food was cold. Literally the worst burger I have ever eaten. Was not made fresh at all." Another reported, "Order did not contain all ingredients. When complained, told they'd run out." A third described, "Portion tiny compared to advertised. Not worth the money." Here's what's happening behind those statistics. You order a Whopper meal through the app. The app charges you. You drive to the location. It's closed. The app still shows it as open. You've been charged for food that doesn't exist. You file a complaint. 33 hours later, they respond with a refund. You've wasted petrol, time, and an entire evening. Or you order delivery. Quoted time, 30 minutes. Actual arrival, 75 minutes. The food is cold. Items are missing. The burger looks nothing like the photograph. You contact support. They offer a discount on your next order. Not a refund. Not an apology. A discount that requires you to order from them again, despite them having just failed you completely. You're not experiencing occasional mistakes. You're experiencing systematic failure affecting over 163,000 customers per year who were angry enough to file formal complaints. For every person who complains, research suggests 10 others simply never return. That's potentially 1.6 million disappointed customers in a single year. At nearly 500 UK locations, that's over 3,200 failures per location annually. Nearly 9 disappointed customers per location per day. This isn't a few bad apples. This is endemic failure across the entire UK operation. Asterisk, asterisk. Number 4. The health hazard. Asterisk, asterisk. Food poisoning from fast food is unfortunately common. Undercooked meat, cross-contamination, temperature control failures. It happens. What separates a responsible chain from a dangerous one is how often it happens and how they respond. Here's what Burger King doesn't advertise on those flame-grilled billboards. Multiple British customers have reported receiving raw chicken from Burger King UK locations. Not slightly undercooked. Not pink in the middle. Raw. One customer ordered via Uber Eats at 1 a.m. When the order arrived, they opened their chicken sandwich to find completely raw chicken. They wrote on food poisoning reporting sites, "Gave me a raw chicken sandwich. I want my money back." Raw chicken at 1 a.m. when you're hungry, tired, and trusted a major chain to deliver safe food. But raw chicken is just the beginning. Reports on ewaspoison.com document a pattern of food poisoning linked to Burger King UK locations. One customer wrote, "Awful. Ate my Whopper meal at around 8:40 p.m. By 11 p.m., I was throwing up in the plain toilet. They'd eaten at a Burger King before a flight. 2 hours and 20 minutes later, violent vomiting at 30,000 feet. The reported symptoms follow a consistent pattern: nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, stomach pain, cramps, chills, fever, headaches. Onset typically occurs 4 to 12 hours after eating. That's the time frame for bacterial food poisoning from contaminated meat or improper food handling." A Luton Airport customer, who'd been a Burger King patron for 40 years, described their final experience. "Burger was undercooked and tasteless." 40 years of loyalty ended by an undercooked burger at an airport location where they had a captive, hungry audience and still couldn't be bothered to cook the meat properly. Here's what's actually happening in these kitchens. Burger King's operational model relies on speed. The flame grilling that they market as their signature quality feature creates uneven cooking. The outside chars quickly. The inside may remain undercooked. In a properly managed kitchen with trained staff and adequate time, this isn't a problem. But Burger King franchisees operate on razor-thin margins. They minimize labor costs. They push staff to work faster. They prioritize throughput over safety. University research on fast food safety identifies the key risk factors: high employee turnover leading to inadequate training, pressure to maintain speed of service, inconsistent temperature control, and cross-contamination from handling multiple products simultaneously. Burger King exhibits every single risk factor. The raw chicken incident reveals the most dangerous failure. Chicken must reach an internal temperature of 75 degrees Celsius to kill harmful bacteria like Salmonella and Campylobacter. Raw chicken means someone either didn't check the temperature at all or deliberately served chicken they knew was undercooked because remaking it would slow down service. You're not just receiving disappointing food, you're receiving potentially dangerous food. Food that could send you to hospital. Food that could ruin a holiday, a business trip, or simply a Friday evening. And when you report it, you join the 163,421 other annual complaints that Burger King will take 33 hours to acknowledge. British customers have no legal recourse. Food poisoning is notoriously difficult to prove in court. You'd need to prove the specific meal caused your illness, that Burger King was negligent, and that you deserve compensation. For a £10 meal that made you violently ill, hiring a solicitor is economically impossible. Burger King knows this. They rely on it. Asterisk, asterisk. Number 5. The £12 scam. Asterisk, asterisk. Burger King positions itself as affordable fast food. Value meals, savor menus, deals for budget-conscious customers. The marketing promises quality without breaking the bank. A Whopper meal for around £10 to £11, reasonable for a quick lunch. Here's what they didn't tell you. Multiple British customers have reported being charged wildly different prices for identical menu items. One customer documented their experience on Trustpilot, charged me £12 for food that normally cost me £5.97 from the savor menu. Was so shocked I asked her to recheck and it still came back at £12, so I didn't buy anything. Read that again. The savor menu items they ordered cost £5.97. At the till, they were charged £12. That's more than double. When they questioned it, the staff member rechecked and confirmed £12, not a mistake. Not a till error. That's what Burger King was charging. The customer walked out without buying. But how many others didn't notice? How many were in a hurry, grabbed their receipt, and only later realized they'd been overcharged? How many checked their bank statement days later and thought, that seems expensive, but maybe I ordered more than I remember? Airport locations reveal the most extreme price gouging. Manchester Airport customer paid £5 for a single cheeseburger and described receiving the thinnest patty they'd ever seen. £5 for one cheeseburger. At Tesco, a Burger King cheeseburger costs £1.49 in their normal menu. At Manchester Airport, the same burger costs £5. That's a 235% markup for a captive audience who have no alternatives. Current UK menu prices show a Whopper meal ranges from £10.29 to £11.79, depending on location. A bacon double cheeseburger Whopper meal costs £11.79. Basic sides like chili cheese bites cost up to £5.79 for 6 pieces. These prices position Burger King as more expensive than McDonald's, while delivering objectively worse quality based on customer reviews. Here's the comparison that matters. A McDonald's Big Mac meal costs less than a Whopper meal. McDonald's has higher customer satisfaction ratings, fewer complaints, better consistency across locations, and cleaner restaurants based on Food Standards Agency hygiene ratings. You're paying more for worse food from a less reliable company. The Gordon Ramsay Wagyu burger at £11 represents the ultimate price deception. £11 for what customers describe as a dry bun and thin patty that looks nothing like advertised. Honest Burgers, a UK chain focused on quality, charges similar prices for burgers that actually use premium British beef, fresh ingredients, and deliver what they promise. Five Guys charges slightly more but provides generous portions, unlimited free toppings, and fresh-cut chips. You're not paying for quality at Burger King. You're paying for marketing, for the photograph that doesn't match reality, for Gordon Ramsay's endorsement fee, for billboards showing burgers you'll never receive. The actual food is an afterthought. Asterisk, asterisk, number 6, the hygiene nightmare. Asterisk, asterisk. You walk into a Burger King. You're hungry, maybe in a hurry. You order your meal, grab your tray, look for a clean table, and that's when you notice food crumbs everywhere, greasy floors, spillage that's clearly been there for hours, tables that haven't been wiped properly. The kind of mess that makes you wonder when anyone last cleaned this place. Here's what Burger King doesn't show in those pristine TV commercials. Multiple British customers have documented restaurant conditions that would make Gordon Ramsay walk out. One Trustpilot reviewer wrote, "The restaurant itself was filthy. Look at the food crumbs everywhere. Greasy floors with food spillage." Another reported, "Place not very clean, lots of food spillage on floor and greasy." A third described, "Filthy restaurant, food crumbs everywhere. And the soft drinks were flat, warm, and where's the ice? The ice machine's broken. Warm drinks with no ice because the equipment hasn't been maintained. This isn't a one-off failure at a single location. Reviews mention broken ice machines at Gloucester, Winchester Services, Coventry, Castleford. When the same equipment failures appear across multiple locations, that's not bad luck. That's systematic neglect of basic maintenance. But it gets worse. Customers report sticky tables, overflowing bins, toilets in states that violate basic hygiene standards, and floors so greasy they're slippery. One reviewer at a motorway services location wrote, "Very poor service with long waiting times for the food, poor standard of hygiene around the tables, and the staff are not so polite." Here's what's happening behind those greasy floors. Burger King operates primarily through franchisees. These franchise owners pay significant fees to use the Burger King brand but operate on extremely thin profit margins. The average Burger King franchise generates £1.6 million in annual revenue. Compare that to McDonald's at £4 million. Burger King franchises make less than half of what McDonald's locations generate while facing similar operating costs. So, franchisees cut costs. Labor is the easiest target. They hire minimum wage staff, provide minimal training, schedule as few workers as possible, and push them to prioritize speed over everything else. Cleaning takes time. Time costs money. So, tables don't get wiped properly. Floors don't get mopped frequently. Ice machines don't get serviced until they completely break. The restaurant deteriorates while staff frantically try to keep up with orders using inadequate resources. The Food Standards Agency publishes hygiene ratings for all UK food establishments. Many Burger King locations maintain adequate ratings. But the customer experience documented in thousands of reviews reveals what ratings don't capture: the daily reality of sticky floors, broken equipment, and visible food waste that accumulates between inspections. You're not eating in a restaurant. You're eating in a cost-cutting exercise where every penny saved on cleaning supplies, maintenance, and adequate staffing goes toward maximizing franchise profit margins. Your dining experience is the casualty. Asterisk, asterisk. Number 7. The employee reality. Asterisk, asterisk. Behind every disappointing burger, every filthy table, every wrong order, there's a Burger King employee trying to do their job under impossible conditions. Break room. CC collected 977 employee reviews of working at Burger King UK. The picture they paint explains everything wrong with your customer experience. Here's what Burger King doesn't mention in their recruitment adverts. Multiple employees report that managers sit in the office whilst everyone else works. One wrote, "Upper management's refusal to do closes, leaving them to everyone else." Another stated, "Managers are unfair and lazy. Managers don't do their work sometimes." A third described, "Managers are biased towards certain people and may even fire people they don't like for the smallest things." The pay? Multiple reviews describe it as terrible and quite low. But it's not just the hourly rate. Employees report unpaid breaks, unpaid overtime, and hours that aren't guaranteed week to week. One employee summarized their benefits as, "Get paid on time. That's it." That's the complete list of positives. They get paid. Eventually, for the hours that get approved. Nothing more. Working conditions include heat stress, lack of staff during busy periods, difficulty getting holidays approved, no weekends off, and what multiple employees describe as a toxic environment. One wrote, "Days off meaning nothing due to start and finish times for shifts. You technically get a day off, but you finish at midnight and start at 6 a.m. the next working day, so the break is meaningless." Here's what this means for your burger. That employee making your Whopper is overworked, underpaid, inadequately trained, and working in stressful conditions under managers who don't support them. They're being pushed to work faster with fewer colleagues. They're not being given proper breaks. They're earning minimum wage with no benefits while being threatened with termination for minor mistakes. So when your order is wrong, when items are missing, when the burger looks nothing like the picture, when service is slow, despite only 2 customers in the restaurant, this is why. The staff aren't incompetent. They're being exploited by a system designed to extract maximum profit while providing minimum support. Burger King's business model depends on this exploitation. Keep labor costs as low as legally possible. Schedule as few staff as the operation can barely function with. Provide minimal training. Push workers harder when complaints increase rather than hiring adequate staff or improving conditions. When employees burn out and leave, replace them with more minimum wage workers and restart the cycle. You're not just receiving a disappointing burger. You're participating in a system that systematically exploits workers to maintain profit margins that still don't match McDonald's while charging you more money for worse food. But before I tell you the better alternative's actually worth your money, you need to understand why this scandal exists in the first place. Britain's consumer protection for false advertising is fundamentally weaker than America's. Not slightly weaker. Structurally, systematically weaker in ways that protect corporations at your expense. The United States allows class action lawsuits. When Burger King deceives millions of Americans with false advertising, they can band together, share legal costs, and sue as a group. The potential damages make it economically viable for law firms to take the case. Burger King faces real financial consequences. They've already paid out settlements worth millions. Britain has group litigation orders, but they're rarely used for consumer products. The legal framework makes it extraordinarily difficult to organize collective action for consumer harm. For a 10 pounds burger that doesn't match its advertisement, individual legal action is economically impossible. Hiring a solicitor costs more than you'll ever recover. Burger King knows this. They rely on it. 0 UK lawsuits have been filed against Burger King for false advertising. Not one. Despite British consumers experiencing identical deception to Americans who received millions in compensation. Despite 163,421 complaints in a single year. Despite thousands of documented cases of burgers looking nothing like advertised, 0 legal accountability. Trading standards officers conduct 0 proactive testing of restaurant advertising accuracy. They rely entirely on consumer complaints. It's a reactive system that allows deceptive marketing to continue indefinitely. Most people don't connect their disappointing burger to false advertising. They think they got unlucky, or that location is bad, or they ordered wrong. They don't file formal complaints. So, regulators take no action. This creates a bizarre situation where Americans receive compensation for buying Whoppers that don't match advertisements, while British customers buying identical Whoppers from the same company get nothing. Same burger, same deception, same parent company. Different country, different outcome. The 2010 Advertising Standards Agency ban proved Burger King UK knew their advertising was deceptive 15 years ago. They were officially told to stop showing burgers larger than reality. They ignored it. They expanded the practice. They systematized it across their menu. Because in Britain, there are no consequences beyond a slap on the wrist and a request to maybe not do it quite so obviously next time. You're completely on your own. The legal system won't help you. Regulators won't protect you. The company knows you can't afford to sue them individually. They can deceive you, overcharge you, serve you poor quality food in filthy restaurants, and face 0 accountability. The solution. Better alternatives. So here's what actually works. If you're craving a proper burger that actually matches what you're promised, you have better options at similar or even lower prices. Asterisk, asterisk. For the same money as Burger King, go to Honest Burgers. Asterisk, asterisk. They charge around 10 pounds to 12 pounds for a burger meal. The difference? 100% British beef. Proper ingredients, transparent sourcing, and burgers that actually look like their photographs. They don't need to deceive you because they're confident in their product. You'll find locations across major UK cities. Check their website for your nearest restaurant. Asterisk, asterisk. If you're on a budget, McDonald's is consistently better value. Asterisk, asterisk. Yes, McDonald's. Their Big Mac meal costs less than a Whopper meal. Customer satisfaction ratings are higher. Fewer complaints. Better consistency across locations. Cleaner restaurants based on Food Standards Agency hygiene ratings. You get more reliable quality for less money. Sometimes the mainstream option is mainstream because it actually works. Asterisk, asterisk. For a premium experience worth the price, Five Guys delivers. Asterisk, asterisk. Yes, it costs more. Around 15 pounds for a burger and chips, but you get fresh, never frozen beef, unlimited free toppings, generous portions, and fresh-cut chips. The burger you receive matches the burger they promised. No deception, no disappointment, just quality ingredients prepared properly. Asterisk, asterisk. If you want the best burger experience in Britain, find your local independent burger restaurant. Asterisk, asterisk. Search for burger restaurants in your area with high ratings. These independent operators survive on reputation. They can't rely on brand recognition or marketing budgets. They have to deliver quality every single time. You'll pay £12 to £15, but you'll receive a burger made by people who care about food rather than franchise profit margins. Sometimes the safe choice costs exactly the same as the dangerous one. You just need to know which restaurant to walk into. Which scandal shocked you the most? Was it the 35% larger advertising deception, the 11-pound Gordon Ramsay burger described as worse than cat food, or the raw chicken delivered at 1 a.m.? Drop your experience with Burger King UK in the comments. And if you want to watch an investigation like this one, exposing another major brand, click the video on the screen. Thanks for watching.